The charity fund in the sphere of support of social and cultural initiatives of Leila Adamyan presents Reproductive Tomorrow of Russia. Health for School Children is Our Care. Good morning, dear friends and dear colleagues. We wish you a very happy holiday on the occasion of the Day of Knowledge. I believe that knowledge is power. It's the power of occupation, power of the family, power of the profession, power of the state, and I'm very happy that we have gathered in such a big and beautiful team here. This is an educational university which demonstrates the latest achievements in science and practice, mostly in the sphere of reproductive health. Those who weren't able to come here can watch us on the internet, and right in front of me there is a TV set, so I can see what we are saying, what we look like, and how great we are. So, dear friends and colleagues, screening and vaccination in adolescence and juvenile age, prophylaxis of the HPV-associated infection, pros and cons. Elena Sibirskaya, the floor is yours. Dear friends and colleagues, I'd like to tell you why vaccination is necessary. Well, a global vaccination and immunization alliance was created back in year 2000. I'd like to note that I'm speaking about vaccination as a whole. From 2000, this alliance has vaccinated more than 580 million children in developed countries, which reduced the annual vaccine-related disease mortality rate by about 8 million children per year. We have heard a lot of information about what is human papilloma virus. I would like to mention the following things. Above all, the main way of transmission of the human papilloma virus is sexual way. In the reproductive system, typical consequence is a disorder in the uterine neck, vagina and vulva. In other words, it may develop into uterine neck dysplasia and cancer with condylomata acuminata, but the disease may also be without any symptoms. In young girls, the HPV-associated disease is usually manifested in the form of condylomata acuminata and precancerous disorders. I'd like to mention that the cancer of the uterine neck in adolescence is very rare. Condylomata acuminata is usually caused by the human papilloma virus type 6 and 11, and it is most often diagnosed at a young age. I'd like to inform you as to whether the infection with the human papilloma virus always causes condylomas. No, not always. For this, the virus must persist for a long time and the immunity must be rather low. We should diagnose the human papilloma virus-associated infection because if a person is a carrier of this infection, in the future she may have oncological changes of the uterus. To do that, the person must pass a cytological screening with a cytological analysis at least once per year. Countries like the USA, Great Britain and Canada recommend screening at the age of adolescence of at earliest 21 or 25 years old. They stipulate this age because the cervical cancer is practically never diagnosed in adolescence. They also say that many adolescents under 20 years old have not yet started sexual life, and therefore this analysis may be traumatic for them. What are the typical characteristics of the human papilloma virus in the world? Above all, I'd like to note that unfortunately, in the past 10 years, the rate of infection with this virus among adolescents has grown by 10 times. Why does it happen? It mostly happens because of starting sexual life too early. And it also causes all other problematic consequences. What can we do to prevent the spread of the human papilloma virus? Today, it is known as the primary prophylaxis or vaccination. By using a vaccine, we are setting up an artificial active immunity in a person. Today, there are three types of vaccines. Nonavalent, which is not registered in the Russian Federation, bi- and quadrivalent are registered, and now these vaccines are administered among the population. At what age is it necessary to do the vaccination? According to the instruction, from 9 to 45 years old. Well, the optimal age for vaccination is from 9 to the age of the start of the sexual life. What vaccination methods exist in terms of timing? It is 3 times vaccination, which is recommended more often for girls older than 14, or vaccination at the time of referral, then after 12 months and 6 months. It is possible to do a 2 times vaccination before 15 years old, with an interval of at most 6 months. I'd like to emphasize that the effectiveness of both the bivalent and quadrivalent vaccines is proven, but the quadrivalent vaccine also affects the human papillomavirus type 6 and 11. Therefore, the Condylomata acuminata appears less often if this vaccination is done. What are the pros of this vaccination? There are a lot of them. Above all, we can mention the main effect, the lesser risk of development of Condylomata acuminata in adolescence and cervical cancer in the future. What are the cons? It should be taken into account that the place of injection may be painful, become red, edematous. It may result in an allergic response. But I'd like to emphasize that, of course, the effectiveness of the vaccine supersedes any possible negative effects. This vaccine has been registered in all the countries of the world, and all the developed countries, such as the USA, Australia, Switzerland, Germany, actively vaccinate the population. What should we remember and what is important to know? It is good to be vaccinated, but it does not fully protect us from the cervical cancer, because it does not cover all the human papillomavirus-associated types of viruses which may cause cancer. What is important to know, it has been proven that the vaccine against the human papillomavirus absolutely does not affect the fertility or development of autoimmune diseases. At the end of my presentation, I'd like to emphasize that the success of the vaccination depends on the knowledge and information, access to vaccination, on the expert opinion, and our recommendations. Why is it important to know that this vaccination is necessary? Because in the past, we can remember the world history, epidemics could kill whole cities and countries. Today we have quite a safe world. The global population is more than 7 billion people. And we should remember that in many respects this happened thanks to vaccination. Thank you for your attention. Thank you, Dr. Sibirskaya. See you at the next conferences of the Open University of Leila Adamyan.